Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. We're going to be talking about XRP today, guys. And as we can see here, XRP actually moved up about 10%. Where is it? 10.38% to the upside. We've seen a lot of corrective moves in here. This isn't actually looking overly too promising when we actually break it down. So what we'll do is we're just going to start with that just to get us an idea as to kind of where we are and what's likely to happen next. Essentially, within this area here, this entire move to the upside here is actually full of a lot of mini corrective structures. So I'm just going to walk you through what that looks like. So if we grab just the ABC structure here, what we'll do is we'll go and map in these moves, right? So it looks like that one there is actually complete. And inside here, we actually have a three-wave structure to the upside, three-wave structure to the downside, and it looks like it actually goes up in a 5-wave pattern, but it's really, really hard to see. So I'm just going to map it up as 3 like that. So you kind of see the idea that it's just a string of corrective moves. Over this side, we actually come down in 3, just like that. And as we can see that we go up in 3 again. Now, again, we can also kind of cut through some of this stuff, but I'm just going to draw the micro counts and then I'm going to show you the macro counts after. So here again, we have this move coming in down here. So we can see that we've basically go up in 3, down in 3, up in 3, down in 3. And it looks like we've gone up in 1, coming down, we've got to go back up again. So if I were to go ahead and measure this distance right here, move it over to this existing low, which we'll talk about in a second, and then this shows about 41.79 as the next potential move here for XRP. So 1, 2, 2 and 3 just up there. Okay, like so. So now if I go ahead and remove the fib, actually before I do that, I'm just going to put a line just about there, and then I'll get rid of the fibs to get that out of the way so you can kind of see. So it's very, very messy, right? But this actually can be dressed up in a pretty easy way to kind of make this a little bit easier. If I go ahead and remove this one and this one, we can grab 3 waves and we can go up here, A, B, and looking like C. We'll use our fibs to basically ascertain what the likelihood is of that coming in on target, and you can see that this actually has a very similar area of 41.54. This basically is giving us then a little bit of a range to think that the price is likely to gravitate between 41.54 and 41.79. You can see it right in there. So essentially it looks like it's a giant A, B, and C structure, and we could also argue that maybe this is an A wave, this is a B wave, and then this becomes our C wave. It would look something like this: A, B, and then finally C. And so everything looks like it's gravitating quite nicely towards its end range, its end target. Now, it is possible that it's already completed up here, and we don't have to go any higher. That's also very possible. It just seems to be that this seems to be the most likely area. You can see right now as well, this yellow dash line just here at 39.85 cents is actually this low point over this side. You can see that we have found really good support just down here at 39.85 cents. If we were to lose that, then I do think we're going to be revisiting this area around here, around 39.4 to 39.45, somewhere around there seems to be the next pit stop for support. Lose that again, you're just going to start tumbling down and breaking through a lot of these support levels. So we should keep those things in mind when it comes to XRP. Now, 41.54 to 41.79 is slap bang in the middle there of our supply box. This is basically where the sellers are, and you can see that we get rejected or have been rejected quite a few times from this area. You can just kind of see if I shoot back here, it was basically a demand area, as is written here, right? Demand. Basically, the price comes in, buyers are here, they take the price out of it to the upside. Okay, but we lost it, and when we lost it, it became a supply zone instead, meaning that when the price came back up, there was lots of sellers in this area looking to drag it down. You can also think of this as a support and resistance range. So basically this was previous support and now it is resistance. So as we sort of focus in on this, we can see this area just here, and it seems to be the area where we are likely to see rejection. Now, you might think, well, there's a possibility of pushing on through it, and there is that, but we have to be cautious about the momentum indicator. We've got a limited amount of momentum here on the 1-hour chart, not so much on the 4, 8, or daily chart. So let's go ahead and just walk our way through these. If I come up to the 4-hour chart here, you can see that it's only just started to pull back down and has still got progression to the downside to be had. Then go over to the 8-hour, you can see that it's just tipping on the overbought area, So got a little bit of progression to the upside, but essentially this is going to have to come on down. If I go to the 12-hour, you can see we've got some progression to the upside still, but could also equally just pull back down. This one isn't really decisive over which direction it's going to go. Can go in either, has a little bit of momentum upwards and a little bit more momentum to the downside. On the 16-hour, we're closer to that overbought area. So again, we could have a little push to the upside, but essentially we are looking to pull on down. On the 20-hour, very similar story, right up the top there, but not quite overbought yet. And the daily chart is overbought, and it is going to be looking for some kind of pull to the downside. And we've actually been up here for a reasonable amount of time now, so just keep that in mind. We are likely to start to see some form of rejection on the daily chart. Now, if I do show you the daily, that looks like this. We've got a big ABC structure. So if we do come up into this range here and get rejected, then we can, of course, start to see our move to the downside. Now, as it comes with B-wave movements, they are incredibly unpredictable. They can be so many different kind of substructures that I think that this thing can go to 50% retracement, 61.8% retracement, 789%, 78.9%. Essentially, you know, they are very unpredictable. There's no easy way to trade a B wave, right? It's not very simple, and there's a lot of substructures. So when I get this course out for Elliott wave theory, it's going to be one of those things that you're going to start scratching your head on, because it is very unpredictable. It's very difficult to get your head around exactly what is going on there if you cannot do the sub-wave counting correctly. So just bear that in mind, that essentially we are looking at about 26.59 cent approximately. So yeah, just kind of bear that in mind. There's still progression to the downside here for XRP. The B wave is unpredictable. It could have already topped out, could still be looking to top out. The sub-wave count shows us at 41.54 to 41.79 at the moment. So if it does top out there, then we're going to have a pretty interesting move to the downside. Can be slow, can be fast. We don't know how that's going to go necessarily. But the C wave can only really be 3 waves or 5 waves down. So we'll be able to kind of ascertain what's going on reasonably quickly with the C wave. It's just the B wave where you get these strings of correctiveness put together. It looks like it's probably going to end up being a double 3 or even potentially a triple 3 by the time it actually completes. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see if we break down all those substructures again for XRP there. So yeah, essentially it looks like we've got a little bit more room to the upside, but essentially the macros are looking like we have to go down. Now, is that overly problematic from a weekly standpoint? Not really. When we're progressing down, we are not there yet, but we're getting pretty close. And we can kind of see here that we've been testing this trend line. I don't like trend lines. Well, I say I don't like trend lines. I'm not a big fan of them because there's so many people that can draw a line on a chart. If they don't abide by simple principles with it, then they're going to invalidate really, really quickly. But here in the case of XRP, this is actually a pretty solid one. You can see here touch point number 1, touch point number 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points on this, and yes, it's the wicks that I'm using because that's where the price went. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to kind of see if that still gets upheld and we continue to move down here when it comes to XRP. Pretty powerful to look at it like this, as you can kind of see that we are just moving and trending to the downside. Now, if I throw this one on, just a 200 EMA, here you can see that we are again getting rejected from it just on this side. So again, really key indicator to know that we are progressing, unfortunately, to the downside. Here is our 100 EMA. You can see it's much higher on the chart there, and we are definitely below that. And if I go ahead and throw the 50 EMA in, you can see also we got rejected from the 50 EMA as well. So again, we're looking at a potential death cross between the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA, probably in a few weeks' time here. So we're going to see a lot more downside. Now, I'm hoping for 26. I don't want to see it come down to a double bottom here at 17.35. But if it does, that's a fantastic opportunity as well. At the moment, I can't see a structure or a requirement to do so. At the moment, it looks like 26 cent. But it can, of course, overextend out of that and drop down a little bit lower if it needs to. And as you can see here are the 2 key areas on this weekly chart. For XRP, right, 17.35, which was Jay Clayton's lawsuit being dropped right down there, basically billions of dollars lost in just a few days, bringing us down into this low point here. And then, of course, we have the COVID crash as well at 10 cent. Both of these are going to be fantastic deals if they the price does come down this low. But you know, it's going to be interesting to see how people react to a death cross and whether or not 26 cents going to hold. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that kind of plays out over time. But for now, it does look like we got a little bit of progression to the upside, but essentially the macros are indicating that we have to go down. I'm going to leave this video right there. If you found this useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.